Welcome to another session in this course. Here we are going to be talking about absolute referencing and relative referencing. This is a continuation of the previous session. Now, if we enter our total cost, this data is still like an extension of the previous session. So if we put equals to here and we multiply this by the number of courses, and then we have our total. And then we use this to pick it down. You can see that we have all of our total here. But if I click on this particular one and look at this formula, you can see that it is B2 and C2 here. If we come here, it has become B3 and C3. And if I come here, it has become B11 and C11. So Excel is adjusting the formula to the current rows. And this is what is called relative referencing. So the reference is relative based on the row that the formula is being applied. Now, let us look at another way of doing this. So let's calculate our total here. This is the total cost, isn't it? And then let's look at this total here. We want to know the percentage of, okay, let's use this particular one. So let's calculate this total here. I will use sum. So now, what I did here, we will still cover it later in the session. Don't be afraid. Now, what we want to do is that we want to look at the percentage of this total score, of this total cost that each student has paid. So the total cost is 638,000. Let us look at what percentage of this has Ade paid, what percentage of this has Ajayi paid. So in order to do that, we are going to use this particular formula. So we see that the cost, which is this, divided by the total, and then we multiply it by 100. So we press enter. So from this place now, you can see that Ade actually paid 13% of the total. You understand now? However, if we want to do the same thing we did here, so that we can know for Ajale Koko, we can know for Adigun and everybody, we are going to do the same thing. And then we press. What do we have? We have this error. So, why do we have this error? Let's look at it. So, we can look at this place now. So, let's start from here. So, here we have D2 divided by D12. So, which is D2A divided by our D12, which is what gave us this particular answer. But if you look at this place, you can see that this is D3 is divided by D13. So, and this is D13, which is actually an empty cell. Now, why did this happen? So let's double click on this. You can see now, what happened was that when we move our cell down, our formula down, based on relative referencing, as this particular cell moves down, this particular cell also moves down. So let's check here too. You can see now that even move down further, and then let's go to the last one. You can see how far. You can see that it has moved down, 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 down. Whereas in this particular task, we do not want this total to move. However, we want other things to move. So we want the upper part of the formula, like this D11, we want them to change. However, this particular one, this total here, we want it to stay there. So when we want to do this, we have to call in something called absolute cell referencing. So let's come back again. This is our formula, isn't it? So we want the upper part to change. So this upper part here, we want them to change. But the lower part, which is the denominator, we do not want it to change. So if we do not want a cell and the column to change, we make it an absolute reference. And to do that, just click on it like this and press F4 on your computer, on your keyboard. When you press F4, it's going to convert it to absolute reference. And what it will do is this: it will add a dollar sign to the front of the cell. So when it adds this, it has made this row absolute. And then when it will also add another dollar sign to this column reference, which also means that it has made the column also absolute. So in this case now, anything we are doing, this column and this cell are not going to change. They will remain there. However, this particular upper part, which is still relative, does not contain any dollar sign, is going to be changing. So let's see what we have now. So let's enter it, and now we add it, and you can see now. So to be sure that our work is correct, let us add everything here together. It should be 100. So because I've used this one before, I will just extend it here. Good. So it's now 100. So we have 100%. Now let us explore this again for a deeper understanding. You can see now that at this point, the D12 is here. Let's check here. You see down, it's still the same D12. It does not change. Even though this one has changed from E2, this one has changed from D2 to D3. Yet this does not change. Let's come here. You see that this has changed to D4, yet this did not change. This is what they call absolute referencing. So that assuming you have a particular cell in your formula that you don't want it to change at all, you have to make it an absolute reference. So now, let us practice this absolute referencing again. Now, the marketers, for each of these students, these were the marketers who brought them to our platform. And then we want them to get their own cut, which is 20%. You understand now? So we have to know the total cost that each student has paid, and we are going to calculate the 20% of it as the cut of that marketer. So how are we going to do that? The marketer's cost, just say equals to, so the amount a student pay is this, and then we multiply it by the percentage. This is 20% here. We multiply it by that. Now, if you press enter, you can see now 20% of this is 16K. But if you remember, if we allow this to go down, we are going to have error again. So you see now, everything here is even 0, 0, 0, 0. You understand now? Because we did not make this guy absolute, so we have to make it absolute again. So let's go down, and then we make it, we put a dollar sign before, making that column absolute, and we make the row 2 to be also absolute, and then we press enter. So by doing that, we do this, and then we can calculate how much we can calculate the sum of how much our marketers has taken from our money. So, good. You can see now. So, and that is how it works. So, this is what you call absolute referencing and relative referencing. There is another concept called mixed referencing, which we are going to be tackling in another session. So I believe this has really helped us, and we are going to be applying this a lot as we move forward in this course. Thank you very much. We are going to be meeting in the next session, but don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.